While we wait for our next guest to arrive, Mr. Tom Chatalbash from the FCL, let's talk about the matches that we saw last week. We saw 2 FCL matches last week that we can kind of discuss real quick. And the first one was Knight and Harley, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What did everyone think about this one? Because this is like the real first taste of FCL characters in this league. I mean, these two were like really going after each other. They were like fully going after each other. It was a blast. You could tell Brad and Steph were having an absolute blast with it. It came down to a heartbreaker, right? Knight didn't know his 5-point question, and Harley ended up taking the W on this one. Jill, I'll start with you. What did you think about this match?
I loved it. When Knight said to Harley, "Let's see if you get invited to the cookout," I lost my mind. I thought that was the perfect line. I was like, oh dang. Like, I thought the character work in this match was so good. And they were both amazing. I know Knight didn't take the W in this, but he rocked it. He killed it. And I'm really excited to see more of him and Harley. I thought it was a super fun match. They were both great. They had that perfect combination of trivia knowledge as well as really great character work. And it was just so much fun to watch. And I was losing my mind with all the clapbacks they kept having with each other. I was absolutely dying. It was so fun.
Brian?
Yeah. I loved Knight. His character was so good because it's just the right amount of character while still making sure you're playing the game. Mm-hmm. Like his character he knew what he had to do. His character made smart remarks here and there, and he made me laugh quite a bit, and they both did. But I remember when we first saw him a while back, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like this guy, and he did not disappoint, in my opinion.
Molly?
So far, everything in the FCL has been amazing.
Yes. Let's just be honest.
FCL's been great.
You might see me in the chat every so often gloating about how I know about real movies.
Every single week, I tell Molly, I go, put her in, coach. Put her in, coach.
It just makes me feel good about myself knowing that I have layers, as Alex would say. I have layers, but at the same time, the players, you can tell that they're having so much fun with this. Brad and everybody on the desk is having so much fun with everything. All the behind the scenes people making all this stuff work live in Twitch. My goodness, Dwayne, just like, I want to like bow down to everyone working behind the scenes to make that stuff happen live, because Twitch is fickle and hard to work with at times, and they're killing it, and it's amazing.
I would have to agree. I do want to bring up this comment real quick. Mr. Robert Adams, an FCL competitor. Knight and Harley, Robert, what happens if you come in as a meanie and can't back it up? Both look easily beatable.
I have a question for Robert. How are you still feeling okay after that tackle incident? You all right? You hanging in there? Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm concerned. It was a great bit, but I hope you and Chris are okay and not terribly injured.
Well, the next match we saw was the return of a former Schmoedown competitor in Devon Stewart taking on Kofi Outlaw. And this one was a weird one. This was a little weird just because Devon Stewart wasn't Devon Stewart. He was the Kingsman, a little bit of an a-hole who just didn't like to, go about the rules as per se, but he wanted to put on a show, definitely put on the show. But ultimately, Kofi took the victory on this one. And Brian, I will start with you because I know you have some feelings about this one.
Yeah, I was just I don't know his character or presence, anything before this. Yeah, that chair got messed up.
R.I.P. chair.
Yeah. So to me, this was a first time seeing the Kingsman and all that. So for me, I was like, okay, like what parts of this is being a little more than we need to do versus not. To be completely honest, though, I had been wanting to see Kofi Outlaw since his name was announced in the Schmoedown draft. So to see that, I mean, you could have put a lot of people up against him, and I would have been paying more attention to him. And he showed up, and I think that he could be someone that could make a good, decent run in FCL, and
For sure.
did not disappoint in what I was expecting from him. And to be honest, I don't think he was really fazed by the Kingsman's antics. I think he was just there to answer some trivia and peace out. And I think those are the scariest types of people that just come in, do what they need to do, and they're out. And I'm very curious to see how he does in the future, because I think he could potentially be someone that gets picked up during the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after his first match is now there. There's always that possibility. Molly, what'd you think of this one?
I loved the Kingsman. People in the chat were like, "This is a little over the top," and I was like, "Yeah." I mean, you come into this league or the FCL, and the people want you to be a larger than life character, and that's exactly what he did. So I thought it was hilarious. And yeah, like the knowledge is there for both players. I wouldn't be surprised at all if either of these people got picked up.
That's definitely a possibility. Jill?
I was literally going to say what Molly said. Like, I was talking to some friends of mine watching the match, and they were like, "This is a lot." And I was like, "I love it. I love it so much." I told the crew, I was like, if this isn't Nigel Thornberry right now, I don't know.
Oh my God, that's a perfect comparison.
It was Nigel Thornberry. I was just like, so I don't know if it's just my obsession with Tim Curry that really made me love this entire just like bantering in this really heavy, posh British accent. Like, I loved every second of it. And I love how Kofi.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I love how Kofi was just like not even remotely twitching or even thinking about this nonsense that was happening. Yeah. Like he I picture the famous Nigel Thornberry gifted like like what like, but like it was literally Nigel Thornberry, and I need more of it. So I understand. I get why some people didn't dig it, but I loved it. So.
Two things. One, if Kofi ever does enter the Schmoedown, it'll be interesting because they called him the Outlaw. So that'll be quite interesting. Two, let's cut the blur out of everything, guys. Let's stop this whole blur thing that's happening with cameras. Because my goodness, it'd get in the way of some whiteboard action.
It had to be like, this is what it says right here.
Yeah. But this week's matches are really, really fun. We have 3 returning MTS competitors who are now in the FCL, late to the party, and Andres Gallego. And also our next guest who is here, finally making his debut in movie trivia, and that is Mr. Tom Chatalbash.
Hello.
Hello there.
How's it going, guys?
Welcome back.
It is great to be back.
Yeah. You must be very excited. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, I know your name didn't get picked up in MTS, but the FCL came. It got put together real quick, and now you have your chance to play professional movie trivia. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm amped. I mean, I'm already liking the jabs that are being thrown my way. I'm like, oh, I'm so game. Someone's got to like download the DLC to get Tom Chatalbash to play late to the party. I was like, all right, if that's how we're doing it already, I'm game. Let's do it.
That's fair. Yeah. That is fair. Jill, do you have anything you wanted to ask?
Yeah. So because you are now in the FCL, not drafted to MPS, are you just ready to like prove like y'all made a mistake?
Oh yeah.
I am here to dominate.
Oh yeah, I'm so ready. I mean, I got my whiteboard. I'm pressing DVDs. I'm ready for this, guys.
Who has even just a whiteboard gets bonus points for me.
That's a really good point. Some people don't have whiteboards.
I know.
And I was going to say,
like, I've noticed that, like, some people or they're using their calendar. That's kind of like a dry erase board. I'm like, that's bold.
Yeah. Well, some people have said that they prefer like writing on a piece of paper and then ripping it off and like throwing it away. Like it's a mind
Like,
thing.
isn't that like a waste of paper? Though?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure it is.
Saul, we're looking at you, Saul.
Saul.
That would drive me nuts. That's just too much.
Yeah,
I'd
like
probably
there's gonna be like a
Right?
pile of papers on my floor. Like I don't want
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy because I will literally to this day, if I'm doing a reaction and I'm seeing a veteran competitor who has been in the Schmoedown for
Right.
years, and I'm like,
Remember Roka last year? Remember Roka?
why are you using note cards? Why are you using note cards? It costs $5. It costs $5 to go to Target.
He wasn't even using note cards. He was using the old school yellow paper. Like that's
Like-
how old school he was.
He was
Legal
using a
pad.
notepad.
Like a legal pad?
Yeah.
A legal
Oh wow.
pad.
Okay.
He was
Really
he was
going there.
waiting for Christian himself to send him a
Yeah.
movie trivia Schmoedown whiteboard and marker.
Is that like supposed to be in his like bag of merch, like an actual whiteboard, so we can?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he's waiting on
actually
his
not-
swag bag.
That is
I want a
actually,
swag bag.
that's actually not
amazing.
a bad idea. They should just start
Right?
selling MTS whiteboards on the.
I'd buy an MTS whiteboard.
I claim it. Copyright.
Yeah.
No.
yeah,
There you
look,
go.
we heard it here. You're the guy who
Yeah.
came up with the idea. No one's gonna deny it.
Perfect.
Brian, do you have anything you want to ask Tom?
Yeah. So obviously, like we said, don't need to keep beating the dead horse. You didn't go to MTS, but do you think that this has lit more of a fire in you, kind of getting to go through this, proving people why you should have been, and then going straight into it?
Oh
if
yeah,
and
I
when you
mean,
get picked
it's
up?
fun being the dark horse, like the person that like, oh, I don't know who this person is. I don't know if he's gonna be able to prove himself the way I think so, or like I like coming out of nowhere and like kind of showing maybe some managers like, hey, maybe this is someone you want to pick up down the line. Like I kind of like having no expectations going in because I feel like if people are expecting you to be like this gold standard, it can kind of mess with your head. So for me, it's kind of keeping my headset clear. So I'm more than happy.
Yeah. I mean, you do get to, I mean, that is a good point. You do get to kind of like pave your own path, because if you go up against someone strong, your first MTS, you might automatically get labeled as, oh, that person's not that good. Whereas this one, you kind of, you get to build off of what your first performance is, whether it's win or lose. I mean, you're not in the real thing yet. So, I mean,
yeah, I mean, like, it's not like if I lose, I'm going to be like, I don't like movies. I'm terrible at this. I shouldn't even be doing this. Like, I'm not going to go cry in a corner. Like, I'm not really going to be like licking my wounds. Like, it's just fun to be a part of this thing. Like, I feel like that's the thing you got to realize at the end of the day. It's like, this is just something to have fun with. It's cool connecting with people who are into movies just as much as you are. It's refreshing for me. I don't have to annoy my friends with movie trivia knowledge. I can just spew it in front of like hundreds of people watching. So it's cathartic for me, you know?
Good point.
Good point.
Really?
Yeah.
Molly, you got anything?
Yeah. So, fellow YouTuber, I'm looking at your channel now, and I'm wondering, getting into the FCL and just like kind of overall movie trivia, has kind of studying movies changed how you want to make videos for your channel, or do you make like just a certain kind of video for your channel that isn't going to change?
I mean, I think it's like a mixture of both. Like, I definitely have a lot of reviewers who I watch online, some of who are like friends of mine, some who I just like to follow, and whose setups I really enjoy. Like, I love your setup. Like, it's so crisp. I like the blue in the background. I love Brian's setup with the Funkos in the back. I'm already like trying to figure out which ones are which.
This is a
I love
hot mess. This is just, I need to hot as much
Mine's
stuff.
a hot mess. Mine
Yeah.
is just a cluster of just a whole bunch of nonsense.
If you think that's a hot mess, look at my girlfriend's bedroom. Then we'll talk. like it'll be a whole different story.
To be fair, I'm in my bedroom and I'm not going to turn my camera around right now. I will say.
That's fair. I see that it's like a very like square angle. So you're playing to your strengths.
And then Jake, your background's entirely new today. So
Brand new.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm doing it. I transferred everything today, and so far it's working. Like, I got to figure out some lighting stuff, but so
Right.
far it's working out. So
Yeah,
there's, not
like,
a light, there's not a light above me, which is the big issue. There's a
Mhm.
light over there, and so right now these are kind of throwing everything. Like, you can see all the shadows and everything. So I just got to figure that out, and I'll be good to go.
But see that, like, that's the fun part. Like, if you're watching my channel now, like, you're slowly seeing changes in my background because I've gotten like a whole bunch of new equipment. I've moved my room around. Like, today I just got some new like colored lights I want to put in my background to make it a little more
Nice.
visually interesting. Like,
Nice.
if you look at my videos from like 5-10 years ago and you look at them now, you're like, oh, okay, so this is like a whole different kind of thing. So like I went from being in like a dimly lit cave to being like in an actual household. So I'm happy with my upgrade.
Jake, you did the opposite.
I did the opposite. I went from the house to the garage. Yeah. I'm now in the cave. I am now in the cave. And it's beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. So.
Exactly. Just embrace it.
Yeah, exactly. I do want to ask, and back to the matches, you're facing someone who is considered the OG of the OGs. They're late to the party is the original reactors of the Schmoedown. They've been involved in this.
Late to the party.
Yeah, they've been involved in this for a very, very long time. Both Robert and Vanessa, but Vanessa, just because you're facing her, she's a big name. She is one of the names that a lot of people were looking forward to seeing in the FCL because they weren't picked up in the draft. One, is it a little intimidating going up against her just because of her history? And two, how are you preparing for it? The fact that it is all live, all of this stuff's going to be happening. Is that something different that you kind of have to get used to compared to, it being a recording?
I mean, I've done a lot of live stuff, so like I'm kind of used to kind of being on the spot. If anything, it makes you a little bit more focused. And of course, will coffee be involved? Sure. Will Red Bull be on the side for in case break in case of emergency? Perhaps. But like I think I'm gonna be all right, and I'm actually excited that I'm like versing someone who's got a little bit of notoriety going in, because like either it won't go that well and it'll humble me a little bit and I'm getting a nice little schooling, or maybe I do really well and I prove myself and I come to be a name myself. But either way, if I win, the way I see it, in terms of recognizing my talent and my movie knowledge, it seems like maybe she might be late to the party. So
I'm flipping that. I'm sending that to Brad.
No, you're sending that to Dwayne now. Dwayne's going to do it.
I'll send it to Dwayne. I'll make sure Dwayne.
There you go.
That's good.
Just get it to the right people. That's all.
I like it.
I like you.
Thank you.
You're sassy. I like it.
Yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is like me at a 6. So.
Well, I mean, they bring it too. So you're saying that Tuesday's matches should be pretty on fire, if you will.
Yeah, it should be a fiery matchup. Hey, if she's sassy, that's going to be great. We'll play off of one another pretty well, so that's even more exciting.
I love it.
Yes.
I can't wait. Crew, any other questions for Tom?
Do we want to ask him our POV question?
Oh, there you go. We can do that. Yes.
Have we? Have we asked her about POV?
I don't know if we asked the last time you were on the show. You were part of the free agency special, or the rookie special. Excuse me. Did we ask you what your favorite movie snack and favorite candy were?
I think you did. I think mine. Yeah. I think I said something along the lines of like my favorite drink was like an icy, and then my favorite like movie snack was like either like popcorn or like this is like an OG candy, like the watermelon Sour Patch Kids. I don't know if you remember that.
Okay, I do.
Like,
I do.
Always got them, I guess.
Oh my god! I knew I liked you for some reason.
Sour Patch.
They're the best.
So if you go to the movie theater, the popcorn's the go-to then.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's like a big blockbuster movie, I like a nice, like medium popcorn, a nice icy, just to kind of get me into the experience. But I only save it for like the big blockbuster movies. Like I don't see some independent film and I'm like, give me an icy and a large popcorn. Like that's not what I'm doing here.
That's fair. That's a really good point.
Okay, so now I'm curious, between Fallout and John Wick 3, which one did you like better?
Great posters.
That's a tough question. Oh my god. Honestly, I think I give the slight edge to John Wick just for sheer style and just sheer like it just doesn't stop. Like Fallout has moments to breathe. Like John Wick, it's just you're on the run constantly. He can't even like breathe. Like it's just like fight to fight to fight to fight to the point where once the credits roll, you're just like, all right, I need to sit down. I'm exhausted. Like Fallout, there's actually like character development, and you're just like, all right, well, now I care about these characters. I have time to breathe, check my watch. Wick, it's just like knife fight, gun fight, bat fight, motorcycle fight. Like it's just like, okay.
Anything's a weapon in those movies.
But it's like asking me to pick between my favorite kids. It's tough, but there's a winner.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Oh dear.
Wow. That is the perfect way to end this.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Before it gets worse, that's a wise move on your part.
Tom, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for reaching out as well.
No problem. Thanks for having me again, guys.
Yeah,
thank you for giving me thank you for giving me redemption for my sound quality, dear Lord.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
We were like, oh no, what do we do?
Because I watched the recording afterwards. Yeah, I watched the recording afterwards. I listened to about 10 seconds, and my head was just on the desk. I was like, first impression, you have failed this city. Like, oh my God.
Arrow reference. Arrow.
There you go. Someone got it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thank you again for stopping by, and good luck on
problem,
Tuesday.
Guys. Thank you. Appreciate that.
After speaking with you, we're very excited to see what you bring to the table up against someone like Vanessa as well. Everyone, if you have not watched the FCL, get to it and start watching. Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific. Go check it out. Tom will be debuting on Tuesday, and we're excited to see what you got, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me again, guys. Pleasure talking to you as always. All right.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
We'll chat with you soon.
See ya.
Thanks, Tom.
That was awesome. He's great.
Chris Adams, you nailed it right on the head.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh.
For sure.
I can see that.
Good
Nailed
point.
it. Because I was sitting here going, where would he be good? And that's kind of how I am with all the FCL people. Like when I see and finally get to like know them, I just kind of immediately go, where can I see them? And that you nailed it pretty much.
Robert. Robert.
You, sir.